and telling it the way he sees it. It's 30 minutes of wit, wisdom, and hellfire. Your calls are welcome at 613-413-2217 or email info@lgreen.ca. Now, here is Lowell Green.
Thank you, John. I have a question for you this morning, okay?
For me?
No, just for anybody. You can take part if you want here, okay?
All right.
The question is this. Is there a more incompetent, stumbling, fumbling member of the Liberal government than our very own Catherine McKenna? If so, would you please stand up? And the Prime Minister, you just remain seated, sir. We all know about you. Stand up, please, if you're more of a stumbler, bumbler, and take a bow. Catherine McKenna. I can just hear some of you saying, that name is familiar. Yes, the same Catherine McKenna, you may recall, who told a barmaid in a Halifax pub that if you just continued to say a lie over and over and over again, and you said it louder and louder, that sooner or later people would begin to believe the lie. In other words, Catherine McKenna has been taking a page from Herr Joseph Goebbels, chief Nazi propagandist, because that's what he said too. Just keep telling the lie over and over again, and people will begin to believe you. Well, apparently he has an adherent in the esteemed Catherine McKenna. Good old Catherine McKenna. Now in charge, this will make you feel really good, I know. Now in charge of, let me see, we're not quite sure. I don't think she is either. It's either 35 billion of taxpayer dollars or 186 billion of taxpayer dollars. What the hell, it's all the same, right? But she's in charge. Ms. McKenna is the minister in charge of one of the greatest boondoggles, one of the greatest rip-offs ever perpetrated on an unsuspecting tax-paying public, called the Infrastructure Bank of Canada. Don't leave me. This is wait till you hear about this, okay? This is a brain cramp of none other than Gerald Butts and his brain twin, Justin Trudeau. The Infrastructure Bank of Canada. Sounds very official. Their idea was to pump something like, well, we're not quite sure how much. I'm not sure if anybody does. But at one point, it was about $186 billion, taxpayer dollars, into some kind of an organization. They call it a bank. And the idea was to line up some private dollars to match the taxpayer dollars and use that money to build, well, let me see, highways, roads, bridges, railways, and of course, windmills. Lots and lots and lots of windmills. So they set up a staff. We have no idea how many. There are about 45 left. Don't ask me what the hell they do. And they begin spending money. This is one thing that we all know the Liberals are really, really good at, spending your money. Man, they've perfected the art, right? So they began to spend money like a drunken sailor, with apologies to the naval profession, all right? Let me see, what did they spend it on? Well, they hired themselves a CEO, $600,000 to $700,000 a year. About 14 million, oh no, we don't know. 15, who the hell knows? All we know is it was millions for travel. Where did they travel? Why did they travel? Who the hell knows? No accounting. Millions more for salaries and benefits. We will never know how much. Then the whole thing was such a screw up. They couldn't seem to find right people. So one of the things that they really did well was fire and hire people. Fired lots of them. I got this in 10 months' time. This is the Great Infrastructure Bank of Canada, okay? In 10 months' time, they fired so many people. What do you think the severance pay? Take a guess. 10 months severance pay, okay? This is your money. Well, I'll tell you, $3.8 million in severance pay in 10 months' time. $3.8 million to people that they fired. This is after 10 months. Pierre Lavalier, he was the first president chief financial officer. He was canned after a few months. There were no project. I mean, they were spending all of this money, millions and millions and millions and millions of your money, but nothing ever got done. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So anyway, they fired the first president. He had been there only, 8 or 9 months. Guess how much of a severance he got? $720,000 in severance. John, can you imagine that? $720,000 after only about 8 or 9 months. I mean, that was just typical. Okay,
I'd like to imagine that.
So in 10 months' time, this famous 10 months, the famous infrastructure bank went through 2 different CEOs. Each one had to be paid a huge severance pay, and 2 chief financial officers. How much money we paid, we have no idea. Don't forget that tens of millions of dollars, all approved, signed, sealed, and delivered by Catherine McKenna. Pride and joy of Ottawa Centre, Catherine McKenna. The only problem is, there was a slight problem, not just all the fired people and all the rest of it. According to Blacklock's reporter, which, by the way, is one of the growing organizations I think that a lot of us can trust. They do great work. They got very experienced people. They've done a thorough examination here and discovered that in all of this time, with all of these millions and millions, maybe billions spent, not a single project was completed. To this day, not a single project completed. Too busy, apparently, hiring and firing incompetent staff and then rewarding them with huge payouts to actually get any real work done, okay? So we can rest assured. We can rest assured now. Okay, we got a phone call coming in. Just before, we can rest assured. No more worries. We can sleep at night. Why? Catherine McKenna is in charge. She says, don't worry, we're going to get this thing improved. That's it, folks. We can sleep at night. Catherine is in charge. Got a phone call, John? Yes.
We have Barry on the line for you. Barry, go ahead.
Barry, what's on your mind here, my boy?
Yeah, g'day, Lowell.
Yes, sir. G'day.
Yeah, I was already talking to Rob about that problem there this morning, and I told him that I've come up with a new acronym for the Liberal Infrastructure Program. It's called LIPP, L-I-P-P, and it stands for Liberal Infrastructure Payoff Program.
Very apropos, I would say. Very apt.
And, with the amount of money they're handing out, now anytime there's a Liberal letdown or a department shut down, any Liberal bureaucrat can call up Catherine McKenna for the LIPP service.
We can laugh. You might as well laugh as cry, right? I mean, we've cried enough, God only knows. But it's actually much worse. I mean, I'm sort of treating it lightly here because what the hell can you do? But the fact of the matter is that they've spent billions of dollars and nobody can account for it. They tried to do an audit and they have no idea where the money went. We don't even know how much money has actually been. We know it's in the billions. But
that's because Trudeau's got a bunch of McGuinty's Marauders working for him now. Same thing as Orange Helicopter and the e-health scam.
One of the things that's very puzzling to me is how they get away with all of this. I mean, it's just scandal after scandal after scandal, boondoggle after boondoggle, and they just roll merrily along.
Where's the RCMP in all of this? Are they not supposed to be like Canada's version of the FBI? I mean, the FBI watches out for corrupt politicians and things like that in the States, and will go after them. But up here, it seems like even Donald Trump is supposedly wanted by the state of New York for a whole bunch of things. I don't know what's wrong. I know what's wrong, Lowell. I don't know what's wrong with people. Their brains are mesmerized or they're brainwashed by this Sunny Ways drama teacher. I also wanted to let you know, Lowell, I was looking up online Pfizer lawsuits, And
Yes.
one of the topic or one of the sections that I Googled on, it came up globaldata.com for executive briefing report on COVID-19. Now, I tried to go in and give them all my information to see if I could get the report emailed to me, but evidently there's a problem with your personal email address. They wouldn't let me submit my address and all that stuff because you had to submit a company name, even though I put on there that I was retired.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know this. There's what I do know is that there's one guy over in Britain apparently that's trying to sue them for $120 billion or something. But and all we know is that the vaccine has been tested very thoroughly. And I don't know about you, but I want to be the first to get it because I just hate living the way I am now. Barry, I got to move on here, sir. Thank you for your call. Now, I'm not finished with Catherine McKenna. I have a little bit, a few other things to say about this esteemed Catherine McKenna, because her outstanding accomplishments in screwing things up royally are not confined to our infrastructure bank, although she's doing that very well, right? By no means. In his article in my new book, Pierre Poilievre points an accusing finger at Catherine McKenna as the chief culprit in changing the location of the new Civic Hospital from just across the road from the present Civic to some godforsaken place more than a mile away. Everything you remember, and we've covered this before, but I think it's time that somebody called this woman out. This has gone on long enough, all right? Everything was set to begin construction of a new Civic Hospital just across the road from the present hospital in 2017, 3 years ago. That's when construction was supposed to have started. A special committee of health experts from all of the hospitals surveyed several different possible sites for a new hospital, concluded that by far the best place was right across the road. There's a big vacant field there right across the road. There was already a helicopter pad there. And they said, this is absolutely the best place. We've looked at everything right across the road. There were a number of factors involved. One of them, of course, is the fact that the Heart Institute, a world-famous Heart Institute, is there. And it's it's key that the Civic Hospital and the Heart Institute be locked together. It is now. And that's very important. That continued to be essentially one building. If you're going to move it away, that means the Heart Institute's going to be there all by itself. So they said, this is the place to go. John Baird, conservative, said, you know what? If you're the experts here, you're the people who know what we require. If you need that land, we, the federal government, will give it to you $1 a year. And that was all set to go. And they were to begin on construction in 2017. Then, according to Pierre Poilievre, and I tell you, of all the politicians out there, I believe Pierre. Nobody has spent more time examining what really happened here than Pierre Poilievre. He says what happened is that as soon as the Liberal government came in, Catherine McKenna looked at this and said, well, there's no way that we can approve this. This is an idea, a plan of Stephen Harper and John Baird. We can't approve anything that the Conservatives agreed to. So she said, we got to change the location. This was a terrible mess. The NCC got involved. Don't ask me why. At one point, the NCC recommended that we go to Tunney's pasture, for God's sake. Can you imagine? That's how stupid that was. So finally, we decided, some people decided, no, we'll build this way down near Dow's Lake. It's a terrible piece of land. It's polluted. There's a fault in the land. There's trees there. And here we are 3 years later when the Civic should already started, well underway. We haven't even put a shovel in the ground. And Pierre Poilievre points to Catherine McKenna as the chief culprit here, okay? So, I just want to point that out. Ottawa Centre, MP, continues to screw up the infrastructure bank royally, and is responsible. I believe that changing the location of the Civic is I think it's almost criminal. It's tragic. And I blame Catherine McKenna. She's the senior Liberal cabinet minister from this area. This essentially was her doing. It's going to cost lives, cost us millions, tens of millions of dollars more. And of course, a wonderful, wonderful delay. Thank you, Catherine McKenna. All right, I got to take a moment here, talk about my friends at Shield. We have, let's take, we've got some emails coming in here or some text. John, yes.
Facebook Howard says, Lowell, Dateline on NBC last night had the hour with the 3 CEOs from companies who have the vaccine ready to go. Very informative show, and found out they have vaccines already ready to go in some locations. That's once the approval comes down, they can be injecting people within hours. That's
this is
readiness.
In the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They're starting in Britain apparently on Monday. Good. All right. John, tell people again how they can get in touch with us here.
Lots of ways. You can email Lowell at BlastTheRadio.com. You can call or you can text 613-413-2217. We're on Lowell's Facebook Live as well, and you can follow Blast the Radio on Twitch. I have got my eyes and ears everywhere, and we'll pass on the messages to Lowell.
By the way, John.
Yes.
What's different about you? I didn't notice this, but someone commented. You're different.
I've shaved.
What? That's right. You know what? That's strange, isn't it? I apologize for not noticing. I just wondered if we had the same guy in there. You had a beard before.
I had a little goatee going for Movember in support of all my male buddies who are battling cancer.
Good for you.
Now this feels much better. Oh gosh.
All right, so we can use the phone lines are available now. 613-413-2217. I'd love to hear from you, and of course you can text. And we're live on Facebook, and you can comment there. And good old John Milkey will pick up some of your comments. Love to hear what you've got to say about this. Is there any? I've said this before, John. Sometimes I sit here, and the same thing used to be at CFRA. And you pound away. I used to pound away about the Green Energy Act. I kept telling people the billions of dollars that was being wasted, et cetera, et cetera. And they kept returning to government, as you know, Kathleen Wynne, all the scandals and so forth, gas plant scandals. And I'd often get the feeling like either people just don't care or they're just simply not listening. All they care about is the latest gossip out of Hollywood. I don't know. Sometimes you get that idea. But, it has been said with a great deal of truth that all that stands between a nation and destruction of that nation, of a culture, is one generation of people who do not pay attention to civics. We rely on people, ordinary people, to know what's going on, to care, and to be guardians. And one of the best ways to do this is to speak up, to let people like Catherine McKenna that we know what they're doing, we do not approve, and we're not going to continue to support them. Public pressure, it's called. So the way to put some public pressure is give us a call, 613-413-2217. We have a phone call. Let's who have we got here, John?
Dave is on line 17 for you.
John, Dave, good to hear from you, sir. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion today. Well, I came to the conclusion a while back, but today it really hit me, is that the people of Canada, I think, are the dumbest people in the world.
No, we're not dumb. We're a little apathetic.
No, we do. We're stupid. Unbelievably stupid. Today I read people, 60% or whatever it is, 68% of Canadians are not concerned that the vaccine won't be here on time. They're willing to wait for it, no problem. And it's everything. This Trudeau government is like the most corrupt government this country has ever seen, and yet there'll be an election in the spring. He'll get back in. Why? Because the Conservatives get in their own way.
What do you mean?
Look at the one that signed the petition or whatever about
Sloan.
Vaccine. Yeah, Sloan, Derek Sloan. And nothing's done about it. Absolutely nothing's done about it.
What do you think should happen to Sloan?
He should be kicked out.
I agree.
I mean, make a statement. I mean, enough is enough. I mean, I mean, O'Toole's making some headways. I like the man. Well-spoken, well thought out. And you get this idiot that signs a petition, and yet nothing happens.
Well, Doug Ford kicked Randy Hillier out, and I agree with you. It's time that Derek Sloan was said goodbye. I mean, he's still be an MP, just sits an independent. That's all.
Oh, be an independent. I don't care what you can. I mean, you have a right to do what you want. I have no problem with that. But you can't have the head of your team pounding at the government, and then you say this in the background. You can't have that.
Yep, very true. No, I agree with you. The sooner that
and like we put, no matter what McGuinty and Wynne did, we put them back in power. Billions of dollars wasted, and like the people of this country just vote them back in, and it's like, and unfortunately, we have become too accustomed to all this free money that floats around, when in fact it's our money. We're being bought out by our own money, and we've accepted that. Like it's just, I can't believe how stupid we are in this country.
I don't think we're stupid. I
think we are. I think we are. We keep. I mean, just look what BC. They voted an NDP government. Alberta, they finally put the PCs in, but then what is Kenny? He's on the wrap now. I mean, I read the little blogs, and they say the worst provinces are the ones run by the Conservatives. Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, it's just frustrating.
It is frustrating. There's absolutely no question. But I thank you for your call. I'll tell you something. You speak for a lot of people, sir. You speak for a lot of people. Thank you for your call.
I just hope we smarten up and get these. I mean, we went nuts over a $16 orange juice, for God's sake.
That's right.
How many days was that in the paper?
That's right. Bev Oda lost her job over.
Meanwhile, the guy's spending billions upon billions, and everybody says, "Oh, that's great. Spend more."
Thank you for the call.
And I think interest rates are going to go up sooner than people think.
Oh boy, if they do, we're in real trouble.
Oh, they will. I think in the next few years, I think the bond rates are starting to change already, and I think the market's telling us that interest rates are going up a lot sooner than what they expect.
Ooh.
And
Sir,
that's when
I was feeling pretty good when I started this program. Now you've got me almost in tears here. Thanks for your call. You know what? I appreciate the call. I really do, sir. Thank you. You know what's going on. Good for you. I've got to take a moment here to talk about my friends at Shields. If you're in the market, folks, here's a local business. We're always talking local business. Don't line up at the big box stores. You're going to get a better deal at Shields. And appliances, doesn't matter what it is, all the major brands, different price ranges, it's all there. Shields.ca, you'll see all of the appliances listed there, the price and the government rebates. A lot of people are going to the big box stores now. They're waiting long times for delivery, and in some cases, be careful of this, there are government rebates for many of these appliances. They show them all at Shields. Okay, that's a great business up there. Family business since 46. Folks, if you're in the market for appliance of any kind, at least check them out. Shields.ca. We've got some texts coming in. John, yes, sir.
613-413-2217. This person followed up on a text they sent late yesterday and we didn't get to. Lowell, one way to appreciate the delay of the COVID vaccine is that it has been rushed from production to the people with limited test time. Normal testing for vaccines can take years, so any delay could allow us to find out if there's going to be any prolonged adverse side effects from any of these vaccines that have been rushed through testing.
So we're going to give the Prime Minister a pass on this. Is that okay? It's okay with you? It's okay that while in the United States, the senior citizens, long-term care are going to be free to go to Christmas parties without fear of this, while our people are still locked up. That's okay with you, is it? You know what? I appreciate that, but it seems to me that people got to think through this a little bit more. As far as this being rushed, they have been working on COVID vaccines since 2013. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I blame the government. Obviously, they should have launched an information campaign a long time ago. But, I mean, rushed. I have to remind you that every year there is a different flu vaccine. because the flu, the ordinary flu that we get, it mutates. So every year they've got to find out or take an educated guess at what the flu is going to be and come up with a vaccine to do that. Nobody complains about that. Now I hear people saying, well, it's not 100% effective. No, the flu vaccine is not. It's about 70%. But they tell us after checking with 30,000 people that the vaccines coming out for COVID are about 95% effective. Nothing is perfect. Absolutely nothing. Are you perfect? But, this idea that, oh, well, everybody else can get theirs first. Folks, there are people dying. Now, I know, I see this, and it really disturbs me when I see this on Facebook. Well, if you're young and healthy, you got nothing to worry about. Well, excuse me, there's Jeff Hopper. How old is he? He's not exactly a senior citizen.
He's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s. His dad died of COVID. He's in hospital. He had a bad situation there. So this idea that it only affects old people, what the hell, they don't matter anyway. I'm hearing variations of that, and I find that really disturbing. Look, seniors in long-term care in Britain, in Germany, in France, in Spain, the United States, are probably, many of them are going to be vaccinated for Christmas. That means they'll be able to go to Christmas parties, even go where other people are not vaccinated. They can go because they'll be safe, protected. Whereas our people are still going to be locked up. We want to have some Christmas at our. I don't know about you, but it seems to me you would want Christmas. What are we going to do? I've got family up in Wakefield. Can we bring them here? We've got family in Stittsville, but ordinarily we'd be all together. If we were all vaccinated, we could. I'm not giving the Prime Minister an out on this, and I'm surprised that people are. We need this vaccination as soon as we can get it. I am deadly afraid that if we do ever get it, that it's going to be screwed up. Let's hear some more emails. John, yes.
Facebook, Twitch, and email. Which do you prefer?
Yeah, you take the pick. You're the genius.
All right,
here.
We'll start with just this nice softball from Jeff. Hey, Lowell, longtime fan. Listened to you since I was a kid. Keep going, bro. Right on, bro.
Bro.
Tina Marie says she wants to get the vaccine for the same reason as you, Lowell. She wants to be able to live again. She's tired.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's
and
tired.
how about opening the rest, businesses as well? The sooner we get the vaccine and the sooner we can vaccinate people, the sooner we get back to normal.
We just lost the Bytown Theater today.
Yeah, I saw that. What a shame.
Yeah.
If we don't get this thing licked, and I've said this, and I know people getting sick of it, COVID is not going to go away on its own. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse. The only hope we've got is vaccination. Vaccinate for it. You know what? And I hear people saying, well, it's not that serious. And the survival rate is about 99%. Let me just point something out. If the survival rate is 99%, that means 1% die. Well, 1% of Ottawa's population is 10,000 people. Now you say, oh, well, not everybody's going to be infected. Well, if we don't fight it, how do we know 100% won't be infected? I come from a time when virtually every kid, we grew up in Orillia and Arthur. I can remember almost every kid in Orillia of my age, when I was young, got the measles. We got mumps, scarlet fever. What else? Chickenpox. Oh yeah, everybody got chickenpox. It went through like wildfire. Every kid virtually in Orillia got chickenpox at the same time. Well, I'm going to tell you, from what they tell us, COVID is even more infection than chickenpox. So it's only because we've gone to great lengths, lockdowns, et cetera, closed businesses, everything we've done, that we've been able to prevent that kind of widespread infection. All to point out, okay, you can say, well, the survival rate is 99.5%, which means that only 0.5% of people die. Well, 0.5% of Ottawa's population is 5,000 people. Enough of that. We've got some more emails coming in here. Yes, John.
Rebecca's on Twitch, who says that she will be seeing a patient on Monday who's in his late 60s and is recovered after 34 days on a ventilator. We're all interested to see what his lung function will be.
That's another aspect that's very scary. is that there are a number of people, not everybody, but a number of people who, while they survive, they do have long-term effects. This is a very nasty virus. This is not just another flu, you know. You're in bed for 2 or 3 days with a bit of a fever and the sniffles. This is, for some people it is, but for other people it's not. And but even if you say, well, it's not that serious, it's serious enough. And you may disagree, but nonetheless, we're closing everything down. People are losing their businesses. They're losing their life savings. They're losing their lives. They're losing their homes because of COVID. I mean, let's get rid of it as soon as we can. Centennial Glass. I got to get this before we go. We're running right out of time here. Centennial Glass. If you're in the market in any way for glass products, whether it's commercial, you got a hotel that you need to redo, whatever it is, you're just looking for a nice, beautiful mirror. If you got glass furniture, if you want to be really inventive, they've got some very creative people at Centennial who can really design some beautiful glass furniture for you. I told you this a long time ago. My son renovated a home a number of years ago in Canada and had them design a beautiful all-glass banister. There was a stairway coming right down when you opened the door. Beautiful glass banister. It was absolutely gorgeous and sure as heck helped to sell the house. Centennial Glass, great people, folks. Local people again. Industrial Avenue here in Ottawa, and doing a hell of a job up in Renfrew. We're right out of time. I want to thank you all again. I have several other topics I wanted to get to, but I really thank you for the call, and I thank you for the emails, the texts. Keep them coming in, folks. Have a say. It's your country, your government, and it sure as hell is your money. Thank you. We'll be back Monday.
Thanks for tuning in to the new No Holds Barred show on BlastTheRadio.com. And get the show on demand with the Lowell Green Podcast. Available on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and more.